Hey gamers, welcome to the Part-Time Gamers Club where we game part-time but support gaming all the time. For those of you tuning back in, make sure to drop a like and subscribe. And if it's your first time here, I'm Gio. Alongside me is Gerard and Mike. And on today's episode, we're going to be discussing Last of Us Season 2 and the outrage behind it. Let's get to it.
So, Last of Us 2, recent season 2, episode 2, just released, and what I predicted very much, I believe the last time we talked about Last of Us 2, has come to fruition. If you haven't already heard, there is a scene. Actually, if you have not watched it and plan to watch it, do so, because there will be spoilers ahead, and I will be bringing up majority of things from the game, which might be even spoiling it a little bit further. Please take this as a content warning. But with that being said, there's a scene that happens in the latest episode that it happens exactly the same in the game, where Pedro Pascal's character is murdered, but it is not that he is murdered, but it is how he is murdered that has caused the backlash in both video game form and now in the series, the video series. What are your guys' opinions on the backlash? And I know Gio has seen the backlash, but Mike, what are your opinions on backlash for people being faithful to the video game adaptation?
I am kind of curious on the backlash, so I should have looked at what the backlash. I'm just waiting for the whole episode to go out before watching it. So it's not like a spoiler. We kind of knew this if they were gonna follow the game. It was expected. Maybe the backlash, like I said, I haven't seen the comments, but maybe it's just too soon. Maybe it just.
Let me
But
give you one so you can talk
okay,
off of
go
it.
ahead.
All right.
Yes.
Fan comment. 1 star, by the way, on Rotten Tomatoes. The fan reviews has dropped. It was like in the same, almost the same score as the critics, and now it's like 69%. So it almost like a 20-30% drop. First comment. I was enjoying the story up until the point that the main protagonist was brutally murdered. This is just depressing. I'm out.
That to me sense that he hasn't really
Yeah, I would also
played
say
a game.
so.
He didn't
I
play
w-
the game. That's
yeah, I was gonna say what I, and this is probably like the worst time for this kind of episode to air. But I did see comments about saying, "Hey, this is pushing a feminist agenda or wokeism, or how like they murdered the male character so that the female main character would have growth." And if anyone has studied literature in either high school or college, there has been like three cliches that a lot of professors slash teachers will say to avoid when writing like books or poems or anything like that. And that is to have a character be killed off for another character's growth for no reason other than that. So this even in back in the day, even when this happened as a video game, people backlash was like, "Hey, this is very abrupt. Like it feels like it came out of nowhere. Like we didn't see this coming." And from what I've heard from the video series or from like the show,
Mhm.
I heard that it was more foreshadowed, but still really dumb that it happened, and it still happened the exact same way. Uh,
Yeah.
I
I
just
would
don't get it.
I was just
Well,
hoping that he would die. Yeah,
that's what
I was.
everybody else is saying,
Yeah,
Mike. Even the fans of the game that played it know the story. Go, we didn't get it. Why did you do this?
no, that's truly what happened. It's just like why in this way? Like they could have killed him off in so many different ways,
Mm-hmm.
but they chose that way, which was the craziest like
But explain to Mike
twist.
because I don't think Mike understands the background for Ellie killing. Uh, what's his name? Joel. Yeah, Joel.
Joel, yes.
Mhm.
Uh, have. It's been so long since I played the game, and I don't watch the show. If I remember correctly, so Ellie kills Joel because of what Joel did a long time ago. I think it was shown in season 1, but it wasn't even like, because the thing is, Joel actually helps Ellie, and she still kills him.
Yeah, because from what I heard when I was listening to some other reactors, because like I said, I never played the game, so I don't know the story that well.
Hmm?
But I heard that apparently she's angry at Joel and seeks revenge because apparently he killed her father, which was the guy that had her. I think it was towards the end of season one. That doctor or whatever that was like basically gonna, I don't know, chop her up or something. I don't remember too much at the end of season one there, but I remember that, and they tied it to that, and I was like, that's really strange, really weird. Like that doesn't make any sense. Why would they do that with the story direction? I'm curious about the game now. I'm like, why would you do that?
Yeah,
And now
it-
the show, the audience
they-
is giving the same reaction. Anybody that doesn't know the game is like, what the?
yeah, it was the exact same thing. Like yeah, so the doctor that was going to dissect Ellie was trying to figure out like the cure for the virus and everything like that. And then Joel, wanted to stop him because that's what he did the delivery for, and like the only way to stop him, because the doctor knew this was gonna save mankind. He doesn't have a connection to Ellie like Joel does. So Joel's only way to stop him is like killing him. Right. That's Abby's father. And Abby, like,
Oh, it's Abby. Sorry.
yeah,
Call her Ellie.
Abby
Ellie is
goes, yeah, Abby goes on a like rampage, gets a group of people looking for like Joel to kill him. Okay, now,
Mhm.
even though, like we see like Joel being like a new person, being helpful and things like that, we did not expect Abby to just brutally kill him. And this is like I want to say like almost at the beginning of the game. It's like at least it's like 10 hours into the game. So like I'm pretty sure it's like if we were to like map out the episodes, it would probably be in the same exact timeline, because I don't know how many episodes a season run for. Usually I would say 12, but I know that's not a like hard point at this point.
10. I think season one was.
Yeah,
10,
it
I
wasn't
think.
a lot. Yeah,
Yeah, it wasn't that many.
like eight
Um,
to the range is
know.
probably 8 to 12.
I can tell you right now, but
I mean, I get it. I don't know. Yeah, maybe it's too soon. Maybe the way it happened. But at the end of the day, he was gonna. And most.
well, to be fair, Mike, I learned this too while I was watching the reactors and stuff. A lot of fans were hoping that they were going to change the direction because of the initial backlash that the game received. They were hoping that they were going to do the smart thing and right thing by rewriting the story after
Or-
the first.
Or
But is
figure
it
out
really
some
the
way to make
story
it
of
better.
the game?
Hmm?
I don't know. Then would it? Then it just be a different
Honestly,
show about following the game.
it wouldn't have changed much. I want you to know
Mhm.
the only difference that Joel's death does is make the focus on Ellie,
Mhm.
and this is gonna be a spoiler.
Or Abby. I got
No,
you
no,
saying
no.
Ellie.
No, Ellie. I'm referring
Oh,
to Ellie
no,
right now.
Ellie is her name. Yeah, it's Joel
Yeah.
and Ellie.
Yeah. So Ellie's it turns into a revenge arc for Ellie after Joel dies, and that's the plot of the second game. But it's supposed to be like that narrative arc, like, oh, Abby killed Joel out of revenge, and now Ellie's going to do the same towards Abby, because it's like the exact same narrative. Ellie is just now in the place of Abby, and you're going through this whole thing. But like you don't need to have Joel die for that, or the way he died to do that. You can
But
still
that was a
have
big
Abby as
pivot-
an antagonist.
But that was a big pivotal moment at that time. So I don't know.
think-
I think
I think what everybody's thinking is the wrong pivotal moment.
It was the way it was handled. So here's the thing. Personally, I haven't played the game in a long time, but personally, this is how I felt back then. I was fine with Abby killing Joel. I just hated that she monologued and did it with a golf club, literally holding him down in 2 hours. Like, I had no, like, there was no, it was abrupt. It just happened all of a sudden, because, like, the way it is that they just find him in the storm and they just hold him down and kill him. It was very abrupt. It's like the entire scene is like 30 minutes and there's no warning, there's no ramp up to it. There's not like, oh, you see Abby in the distance and they're looking for him or anything like that. You just in the game, it is immediately like, oh, Abby is in the area, and then the next moment, cutscene, Joel's dead.
She was there for revenge. That's the.
And honestly, if the only thing they had to do in the show is probably make it 2 episodes long, make it like a chase. Like, oh, Abby finds Joel, and Joel and Ellie are trying to run away. And then a turn happens where they split up, like they did in the game. But instead of like, oh, now Abby catches up, kills Joel, it's more like, oh, Joel is running and has like a go through, like, same thing, remembers about his daughter, and that this time he's going to be different. Save Ellie, and then confront Abby in like a way to try to like plead like not to be a bad guy, and show that he's actually developed and comes to fruition with his death, because it isn't in the game that he's just like fine with dying.
Okay. So I was confused in there. I was confused there too. Who's Abby again?
Abby is the person that killed him, which is the daughter of the doctor.
Doctor, yeah. Ellie's the.
Okay. So it wasn't Ellie that had anything to do with it. It was him. It was Abby.
Yes, Abby's the one that kills Joel.
Okay. So I was confused there. But let me ask you this then. All right. So, they did exactly what you thought was gonna happen, right? And like word for word, you're like, I wonder if the same outrage is gonna happen. First off, apparently season 2 hasn't even broke the top 10 list of TV shows, which is crazy because there was a lot of hype, obviously, but for some reason it didn't. Episode 1 didn't launch off the way they did, and I guess probably gamers must have caught wind that it was gonna follow exactly how it went down in the game. That's
season one didn't really derived from the game.
But I think there was hope, like I said, that they were going to take a different direction with it. And I get what you're saying, Mike, because they were like, you're like, oh, but they were loyal to season 1 because the first game was never the problem. You should have stuck with the first game, loyal to it, then make the tweak to season 2. And you could have still wrote a different story, because then you can make more seasons. There's only 2 games. So what's going to happen after season 2? Is it done?
Probably. Most likely.
Yeah. But now you literally lost money on this season. You might as well have not done it.
I mean,
I think.
I don't know.
I do remember in the game, and I'm sorry to cut in. In the game, you don't get a reason why Abby kills Joel. She doesn't tell you the reason when she kills him.
But
you only find out later in the game.
So maybe you could explain this to me and Mike too. What some of the people that I saw, content creators out there, they were saying the rest of the game then was trying to make you feel sympathetic to Abby. Did you pick up on that when you played the game? Like, they tried to make it seem like there was a justifiable reason for what she did, and feel bad for what she went through because of what Joel did, technically.
Yes, because in the game, this might be actually the same in the movie. In the game, Abby is like, her entire like community was the people that hired Joel. So when Joel goes in and kills like everyone in that hospital and her dad, he killed basically everyone she knew. Okay, and then she felt rage and things like that. But they gave you all this information in the game, piecemeal by piecemeal, slowly out throughout the game. Just like as Ellie goes like talking to people and trying to find Abby, she like finds out her history, because Abby is like going back to like just trying to figure out what to do after killing Joel. Right? Gotcha. Because it has been 5 years since Joel saved Ellie. So Abby has been trying to...
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I get what you mean. Yeah.
I'll call E and A.
Yeah.
A for Abby.
No. Ellie was fine.
Ellie, hold on. Wait, what?
I just had to remember that he saved her from that, Ellie, from that one thing.
Yeah. Joel saves Ellie, which was basically his daughter figure now. And Abby lost her entire community because of it. Okay,
Hmm.
in 5 years, she has not let go. She's like only focused on killing Joel,
She's
and
rage.
yeah, and you see that while playing after Joel dies, you see that
Hmm.
as she chases down Abby, finding out from her all the communities that Abby's been a part of, and like how much rage and how much hatred she's had for Joel this entire time. So it's fed to us piecemeal in the game, but it takes the entire game to figure that out, which is why people didn't like that. Because it was like, oh, you kill the character and you don't even tell us why, you just make us play the game afterwards. Like, we lost interest when it happened and we didn't know
Yeah,
why.
yeah.
um,
It's Last of Us is by Naughty Dog, right?
yes.
So because they got a lot of backlash when that happened with the game, I know that. And so, like I told Mike, they were hoping Naughty Dog learned from that, and obviously they didn't. So now, exactly what you had predicted was, and it was funny because you were like, I wonder if the viewers are gonna have the same outrage as the gamers that didn't play the game when this moment happens. You didn't tell us exactly what it was. You were like, just know you're gonna, if they follow the game or they follow the story of the game, you're probably not gonna like season two.
Yep.
Because I'm
Uh,
pretty sure most people are watching it because of him. Pedro.
Well,
Some
honestly,
people
I
hate him.
have no
Uh,
interest in watching it now. I really don't, because I'm like, people have their opinions of Pedro Pascal with his political views and all that. I don't get caught up in that. I like him as an actor. He's a very good actor. He's the main draw for me for The Last of Us, and you basically kill them off. And no offense, Ellie's character, she's okay, but she wasn't as engaging to me as Pedro Pascal and as Joel. So I feel like without that connection, because like you said, she became like that daughter figure and stuff. I feel like now you separated that bond and that chemistry they have there. And I was more drawn to Joel's character anyway. Now I really have no reason to watch it. Like, because I don't care for the story. I don't care for it now.
they're making a third season, by the way. It got renewed.
Oh, are they gonna bring Joel back in that one? They're gonna find a way to resurrect him.
no, I think they're
That'd be
gonna
funny.
spread out the season two into or the season two. They're gonna not finish season two. They're probably going to have the game split up between season two and season three, which sounds miserable. Or they could also have the DLC, because there's a DLC that came out with two. Uh,
Oh,
Maybe they just start a different story. Get split. There's
they sh-
ways to.
if
There's
they were gonna
ways
start a
to do it.
different story, they should have started at the beginning of season two.
You know
They
how they
should-
go progress into, and then they go back to like a storyline of somebody, and then they
I
play that season, and then go back to current
se-
season.
season
So
three
it's
is
like,
going to be through the eyes of Abby. Watch.
But
oh,
here's my question.
it already says Abby will take center stage. So I think it's gonna be her view, her storyline.
But why?
Why
I just
wasn't it
don't
in for season
understand.
two? I don't understand why didn't they do Abby's story season two and then do season three, going back to Pedro and them? Because then it would make sense, at least people narratively wise.
I just don't even understand. Like, I'm just looking up the reviews of Last of Us 2, right?
The
And
game.
I can tell the difference, yes, the game,
Yeah.
from the fan reviews and the critics again. And I'm like, there's no way these critics were okay with that happening in this game. There's no way. There's no way as a fan of the game, if you were, because everybody was huge on Last of Us, the first game. I heard about it. I know Last of Us, not because I played it, but because everybody else that around me played it, talked about it. So it's like, why would you still follow through with that storyline knowing it was so controversial? Like, granted, we're talking about it, but that we're telling you we don't care to see it now. That's not the kind of talk you want.
I
I don't know. I won't not see it. I would have to see it to kind of go gauge on if I want to continue it. But I mean, like I said, I had the inkling it was gonna happen. It was bound to happen. It's part of the game, and they never derived from season one. So what makes you think it's gonna be the same way? It's just now, the people that's video games probably like, damn, man, they should have changed the direction. But people that haven't played the video games be like, well, I wonder what's gonna. They could be what's gonna happen next.
That's not what the
Or-
review. That's not what the
or
comments are
some
saying.
people,
I don't know.
some people are gonna stop watching it because their favorite actor is gone. I don't. th- I
I
do see the outlash because they're people that are not that haven't played the game. They are tied to these characters,
Mhm.
and I can see the backlash why they be upset that he died the way he died and how when he died. I can see it, and I'm sure it's gonna lose interest, but there's gonna be enough viewers to still continue through. It just may not be as much as
They haven't broke the top 10 most watched TV shows. How do you think they're gonna have the viewership?
It's only episode 2.
It's up to 3. But
I
if
mean,
you
he
didn't
died
break
in
it on
2.
episode 1 with the great uh how can I say it? Word of mouth feedback that you had from season 1, and episode 1 of season 2 doesn't break the top 10, that's not a good start.
That's true.
And it's not going to pick up if everybody's talking crap about episode 2 already.
I don't think the first season had that much viewership though. What am I? Was that? I could be wrong.
There was a lot of talk about season 1. That was very
Well,
Yeah, because
what,
like the first, but like the viewership, the actual viewership.
I would have to look
Uh,
into it.
I'm looking at it right now.
But I can tell you the reviews from the fans was a lot higher for season 1. Season 2
Yeah,
is like
because
30-point difference or 30% difference. That's a big difference, Mike.
but
That's a
and
huge-
the story never derives anything separate from the game.
No,
So
no, 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 absolutely. And I get what you're saying, Mike, that they followed the storyline. But what I'm telling you is the hardcore fans of Last of Us, who is your main audience, was having faith that you would do the right thing and change the story. And again, Naughty Dog did not do that. They stood their ground. They
Naughty
said, we're
Dog?
going to make it to the game. Huh?
Naughty Dog?
Right? Yeah.
I mean, Naughty Dog made the game. HBO is the one that's responsible for the show.
Yeah, but they're working hand in hand with HBO and the story and everything like that.
Yeah. And I
So-
would have thought that HBO would probably set down the fucking gauntlet and say, hey, we'll keep everything else to be the same. This is the one thing we won't allow.
Mm.
And that was the only thing, like, honestly, they could be faithful to the rest of fucking, like, the second game. Just change the way Joel dies. Just change that. That's the only thing that needs to be changed.
what put that in the finale of the season 2?
Well,
Is
if
that
they,
what
no,
expectation we put down?
it just had to be like episode 4, episode 5, or better yet, as I said,
What?
make it 2
It's
episodes.
still gonna happen.
And-
I
but-
guess I don't.
I don't even think that. Hear me out, Gerard. What would you think if they had done it like at the end of season 2, right?
Mhm.
Like, because they should have did it at the end of the game of game 2. They should have done it towards the end. If you're gonna kill a main protagonist, make it at the end of the damn game. But anyway, if they killed him and not because Abby killed him, but like him doing something, and obviously. I don't know what
Heroic.
you call them again, but like yeah, exactly. Like give him a proper send off. Don't get him clubbed to death.
Yeah, it's fine.
Revenge.
It's fine.
It's
Honestly,
amazing.
It's fine that he died to revenge. Like I am not, or excuse me, I'm fine with the plot. I just hate how it was handled. Like it's not about how the story was taking place. It's the way they just shoved you. Like, hey, in
It's
the
early.
game, it's super early and it's without reason. Like it doesn't make any sense. And in the show, I'm pretty sure the backlash is coming from one, it doesn't make any sense. We haven't seen this much of this character, and he dies, or excuse me, you don't see Abby at all. You know nothing about her. Even if she monologues and tells you the reason why she's killing him, you have no connection to her. You're just gonna hate her. This is the equivalent of what happened in Walking Dead.
Oh, go ahead, Mike. What you got?
Wouldn't that
Walking
be?
Dead.
Walking Dead, yeah.
Yeah, everybody got mad when that guy died. Rick, I think his name was Rick, right?
No, it was
Wait,
Glenn.
is he really dead? But it's
I
Glenn.
would-
Glenn.
I would-
But
Glenn.
it happened in the book. Too. You know what? I digress. We're not gonna go.
Mike, we're trying to tell you that sometimes if the fans didn't like that part, you might want to leave it out.
There's still people were watching it afterwards. But anyways,
It died really hard after that.
It could- because there's the why the Asian had to die. But
Coming from the Asian.
Okay, I see how it is. You're
but
not
like,
wrong,
like
but still.
black people in horror movies. Why always the black guy gotta die?
I can't even. Anyways, maybe it might pique interest on what people wanted to know the reason why, and that's probably maybe that could pull them in. But it's kind of hard to do that when the game is there. But and people that plays the game, but people that hasn't played the game, yeah, they might be upset, but they're gonna ask us why. They're gonna have to know that. Well, they're gonna have to explain it at some point.
Yeah.
That could pique interest to keep going, keep watching it. But there's online Google stuff. It's so hard to
But here's the thing,
really.
Mike. Let me ask you something. Do you think the two female protagonists can carry the show the way Pedro Pascal would have?
Yep, you won't know until the episode comes out and you
I
see.
do know already because they're not watching. I already see the feedback. They're not
I
gonna
mean, you see
carry
the
it.
feedback, but it doesn't mean I could say I'm not watching this show ever again, but I also end up watching it. So I don't want to hear that backlash. I'm not
What
watching it. It can
I
happen.
would I would say, Mike,
I'll
All
give it
right.
a chance.
that
I go ahead.
I was gonna say, like, there are times where I think that uh not personally I would like a change, but I also see what Mike is going on with. It's just like, hey, visually the people who have not played the game are seeing this and like have like, okay, why, like, she gave a monologue or whatever, and why did he have to die? Why did he die this way, right? And they might watch for that. But in my mind, my thoughts are, it's not that he dies to Abby in like a random way. I know nothing about Abby, whatever. In the game it's worse.
Yeah.
In the even if in the game we figure out why Abby kills him and we just figure out more about her later in the game, whatever.
Yeah.
It is that Joel doesn't, like, it's a really pitiful way the way he dies, and it
Mhm.
doesn't feel good. Like, the way he dies is like in Walking Dead, where the person has no fight back, no agency, nothing. He literally dies in the most unceremonious way, and like you're right, Mike. It probably is the same as the like translation, same as the book. Yeah, doesn't mean it's still not a shitty way for that to go down.
I'm not saying it's not, but it's
Yeah, yeah.
following.
I,
It
Gerard's still saying though, and I get what Gerard's saying too. And all right, he's fine with the plot, but change how you executed it.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
it. That's just it.
if season one did not tell you how they were gonna do it,
Well,
then
we had an idea something was gonna happen, but I didn't think he would die to a golf club.
I'm fine if it was a golf club as long as it was. You know
Yeah,
what?
fine, too.
Honestly, I've been thinking about this for a very long time since I played the game, and I was like, it would have been better if we had a arc where Joel helps Abby, not knowing who she is. Abby finds out that this is Joel, who she's been chasing for, gets really mad, sets up a whole plot, and then kills him by like setting him like a whole bunch of zombies, or I forget what the name of they are, but clickers. Gets him killed by clickers, and while he's like holding them off, she's just talking in the background saying, you like, this is the betrayal we felt when you went back on your word, you delivered Ellie, you then betrayed us, killing us, and now we do the same to you. And that would be a final send-off. You realize that, oh, it's not like Joel, who's been always a person who doesn't trust anyone, finally starts trusting people, helps someone, and in that turn, his good deed goes punished. And it feels like he lost something, but in that moment, you see, hey, a reminder, humans are dark and they don't care. And then you can go through the game to figure out how like fucked up Abby is.
Yeah. Well, I pull up the viewership, Mike. So season 2 started off with a higher premiere of 5.3 million than season 1. Season 1 was 4.7. But by the end of season 1, it was up to 8.4 million viewers. The show progressively grew because it got really good reviews, and then it got a good word of mouth from
Or,
fans and stuff like that.
or people just waited to binge watch
Uh,
it. I
That
don't
too.
know.
That too.
I
I mean,
No, no, because they're talking about live viewership when they say 8.3 million. They said
yeah.
over
So
30
it made
million over
more.
all
So season
platforms.
two. So season two, first episode was watched more than season one first episode. Is that what
Yes,
you're saying?
but you have to
So
understand. No, no, hear me out before you say that. You already had a fan base at 8.2 million at the end of season 1. You should have started off at the same around the same number, not 3 million less. How do
okay,
you expect this
there's
season to
there's a
pick up
there's an
to
argument for
8
this
million?
because not everybody does live viewership all the time,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe they like well they saw the first one, they could have probably waited till the whole season to binge watch it, and then they're probably doing the same thing as this season. But it still shows that the first episode of season two did more than season one, and there was more hype behind it into into season one.
No, into season
Well,
2, there's been more hype.
there was enough
Way
hope,
more hype.
but people season one there were a lot of excitement. They
well,
were a
we
little
it was we were had trepidation because at the time not a lot of video game shows were
Mm-hmm.
good.
Yeah,
good.
yeah. But this was the
But
first
this,
one that I remember hearing really, really good things, and that's why I tuned in. And then you tuned in to binge watch it so we could do the episode. But it was actually really good. And like I'm just saying, man, I'll try to watch
that,
it. I'll try, but I
you ain't
feel
gonna
like
watch it because it's two female leads.
I don't care about that. I just don't know.
Anti-feminist.
I'm not anti. Damn. No, I just, bro, like that's like all right. What they're trying to do with the Mandalorian. All right, I'm not going to watch the next season of Mandalorian. Now, it's not because before you call me an anti-feminist, because they're trying to
You said
change it
it.
the main character to a woman, but at the same time, it's like you built this series off of Pedro Pascal. How many series have you seen, TV series,
Plus two equals
where
four.
they change the main protagonist and the show continues to thrive?
I wonder if
Mm,
Pedro says, I was the main character, but they killed me off or pulled me off. If every time that happened, I got a nickel. I got 2 nickels. It's not a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice.
Well, he's got a lot of projects. That's the other problem. I think this guy just overbooks himself. But
He needs that paper.
yeah, he's in very high demand. But at the same time, I'm be honest. Think of all the like really good successful TV shows that you remember that they changed the main protagonist and maintained their level of performance or continue to thrive.
Talking about shows specifically,
Yeah.
because I was gonna be like, video games does that all the time, or like a few times, but
No, I'm talking about a TV show because remember, when you're talking about TVs and movies, you need that draw. You need that big name. Who is the big name?
I mean, Grey's
Walking
Anatomy
Dead.
got to 20 season and they lost their main
Well,
protagonist throughout the
but isn't
shows.
isn't Grey
This man's talking
still?
about soap operas and shit.
Grey's Anatomy
I think
is
it's a
20
20
seasons, and it's a
yeah.
good
All
show.
right,
The
Days of
problem
Our
is it's
Lives
got
has
worse.
been on for longer than I've been alive. That
But it's
doesn't
not.
mean nothing.
It's not a soap opera. It's not like running at 3 o'clock in the freaking during the day. It's on prime
Grey's, An-
time. Like what the fudge?
Grey's Anatomy still on prime
I
time?
don't watch it myself, but
Me
I'm
neither.
just saying. I'm just
All right,
saying.
you name one show.
I could think. Yeah, I mean, you're putting me on the spot. I have a
I'm
lot of
trying to
shows I could watch.
remember shows. That's the problem I'm having right now.
But like,
Yes.
try to think of just think of somebody that a show you really like, that you watched a lot, and they changed the main protagonist.
And did well.
Yeah.
That's the caveat. That's the
That-
caveat.
that's what I'm
Because
trying to say.
I was like,
Look how hard you have to think about it, though. It's not gonna be easy.
I mean, I got a lot of shows that I watch, and
Yeah, me too. But
shows-
I'm saying
some
I
shows
can't
I
even
keep
think of
forgetting.
where a show where I can think of that they changed the main protagonist.
oh, I
Let
can
alone-
think of a lot of them right now. Like Scrubs, they did it. They also did it in House. They also did it in
In House.
well,
What
House, not House himself, but the doctors that the his
That's
assistants.
his staff. They're not the main protagonist. He is.
They also removed
Oh, the Charlie Sheen and the Ashton Kutcher show, two guys.
oh
Whatever.
the two and a half men.
So
That's not Ashton Kutcher.
No, he
Oh, they
said
did
Charlie
put
Sheen.
Ashton Kutcher in that show.
Yeah,
They did,
Charlie
didn't
Sheen.
they?
Yeah.
But that didn't last long.
My train of thought is messed up now, and I forgot all the shows I was about to name. Because I was literally thinking about all of them, and I was like, ah.
Well, all right. So then you think these girls can carry it?
Who's
Well,
these girls?
it makes sounds like you don't believe in that.
Who's
I
these
don't.
girls? Are you talking about both Allie and Abby?
Abby, yeah, Ellie and Abby.
So, I don't know how.
And
the
I'm not
show
talking
is-
about the game characters. I'm talking about the
I
actresses
know.
themselves.
I know. I was gonna be, cause I don't watch the show, but I do know the actress that plays Allie, Ashley Johnson.
Ellie, or who?
No.
Abby.
Abby.
You're
The
talking
person?
about Abby because
Yes.
you said like both their names and combined. You were like Allie. I'm like, what?
Abby. I know the actress that plays Abby, Ashley Johnson. I don't
Okay.
know her personally, but I do know her as a person, and I've seen her work before.
Yeah, we go way back.
We go way back. But I do like her acting, and as a person, she's very well person. So I have
Don't make
belief
it
that she can.
personal. I didn't say she's a bad person. I'm just
She's
saying,
a bad
you
person. You anti-feminine. Anyway.
think she carried the show
Anyway-
is my point.
Anyway, as I was saying,
No,
I
you say
think
no
she
female
has
can carry the
she
show.
has
That's not true.
potential. She has potential.
Don't put
to
words in my
carry.
mouth. I didn't say no female can carry a show, you dumbass. Don't say that, because I didn't say that. I'm saying, can they fill Pedro Pascal's shoes? I think that's very hard and unfair to ask of them.
I don't know
I think
if
they
I don't know if it's
you
sa-
won't
the
know- and
saying
you
it's
won't know until-
unfair because they probably were at the read-in and realized that they
Oh,
were
yeah,
going to
I-
have to.
They probably knew that at the end of season 1, but
Yeah.
they
So
probably asked,
they already
you sure
knew.
you want to do this? You sure?
All right.
I
I
mean,
think-
we'll see. We'll find out. But
Yeah.
I think they can. I think she
I-
has. Our
We'll
own,
see.
You know,
I bet you Pedro Pascal only took it because he knew he'd die after season 1. He's like, I get to do one season. I bet I'll do it.
All right. Does anyone have any final thoughts? Any final things to say?
Yeah, I'm not anti-feminist, but I don't think they can carry the show. Thank you.
All right, that was brought to you by our anti-feminist Geo. I would like to be known that we as a collective of people hope that they do well, both the female actors and the show itself, the showrunners. We have questions on their opinions, but we'll see about how they go with the rest of the show. And let us know down below in the comments on your thoughts of the last episode, of season 2, which is episode 3 at this point at the time of recording, and what your thoughts on episode 2 was. Also, if you played the game, was your hatred and rage the same as the game when episode 2 came out, or was it a different rage? Please let me know. With that being said, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time.